Hi angels, this is Leah with another one of your favorites, a reading video. In this one, we're using Doreen Virtue and Robert Reeves Flower Therapy Oracle cards, as well as Chrysalis Tarot by Holly Sierra, who did the artwork, and Tony Brooks, who wrote the guidebook. Now, in order for you to get your message in this video, you have two options. One of them being, hang around for the entire video and pay attention to all three of our messages. The one that resonates with you, the one that you feel calling out to you, the one that goes ding 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 inside of you, that's your message. And another option is, you can do the interactive method, which is right now. Choose number 1, number 2, or number 3, whatever you're feeling drawn to, and then take a look at the set of cards that corresponds to the number you picked. That is your message. So if you pick number 1, your message lies within the first set of cards, and so on and so forth. Also, make sure you hang around even after you've already gotten your tarot and oracle card message, because we have a special segment which is channeled. We're not using oracle or tarot cards for that, and it's going to be a different person every week, or a different set of people every week who gets a message. So if you don't get a message this time, stay tuned and subscribe, because next week or in the next video it could be you. As always, our cards have been shuffled and picked from random spots in their decks prior to filming, with the intention that all of us watching this receive a helpful and uplifting message. So if that sounds good to you, and if you're ready, pay close attention to Spirit's message for you. Our first Chrysalis Tarot card is Nine of Mirrors, with its partner Flower Therapy card being New Idea, Crab Apple. Your new idea is divinely guided and is meant to be shared with others. Continue to work on it as you are on the right path. These two cards together appear to me to be encouragement to further pursue an idea or endeavor you've been wanting to, or have been feeling inspired to further look into. The Nine of Mirrors in traditional tarot is the Nine of Cups, which is the wishes coming true card, so there's energy here indicating support. It could be that you were too scared in the past to try certain things that would move you out of your comfort zone, but there's a part of you right now that can't take being held back anymore. It could actually feel painful to you now to keep doing the same things over and over, to keep getting into the same patterns. So even if it's scary, you could be getting a stronger than usual nudge to step into the unknown, and you don't have to rush. Any risks you take can be calculated. At least seriously consider them, rather than just brushing them away or thinking that they'll never amount to anything, so you don't even entertain them. Hey, you know what? If they make you feel excited and uplifted, think of how your life can change in the greater scheme of things if you allow more of this fresh new energy in. So try making some positive changes that you've always wanted to, but have been hesitant to follow through on. Life's too short for you to be sitting on the sidelines. Our second Chrysalis Tarot card is Ace of Stones, with the second Flower Therapy card being Unity, Hibiscus. You're spiritually connected to everyone through God. Use the sacred bond to heal your family, friends, and yourself. One interpretation I'm getting from the combination of these two cards is a reminder that material opportunities can be used to further our spiritual growth. Because, see, the Ace of Stones is an indication of new beginnings in the material or physical realm of life, and the presence of the Unity card could indicate that we sometimes might feel greedy by saying yes to some opportunities for material advancement of some sort, because our conditioning says so. Maybe it's time to think then of all the good we could do when the resources to do them are in our hands. Many of us appear to have been programmed to turn material abundance away because we were taught that there's no integrity in having so much unless it was hard-earned, unless We broke our backs, figuratively speaking, to get that money or the house or even a career we love that pays a lot. As though life was meant to be a struggle. In the meantime, those of us who don't operate under this mindset keep saying yes to the gifts the universe brings, and some of us feel frustrated at why we have to work 10 times as much to get even a fraction of what they have. If this is true for you, or even if it is an exaggeration but you can relate to it, then these cards have come up to bring you the message that it's time to reprogram any beliefs you may have about abundance not being a good thing. It can be used in the service of making a positive difference in the world, and we don't have to suffer or be cruel or mean to bring more abundance into our lives. Remember, and I'm sure many of us already know this, but it's worth bringing up considering the subject matter. Money itself is neutral. It's what we do with it and what we think we have to do to get it that gives it the reputation of either being bad or good. Our third Chrysalis Tarot card is Two of Spirals. And our third Flower Therapy Oracle card is Open Your Heart, Red Rose. Your potential to greater love rests in opening your heart. Blockages and wounds from your past will be healed, and you'll be met with the true passion you seek. And last but not least, our third set of cards is telling us to make sure that our ability to love isn't obscured by painful events in the past that led us to keep our hearts closed. The Two of Spirals is about making a choice, and we can choose love over fear and over hatred or any other not so positive ways of being, even if it feels challenging to do so sometimes. Any mistreatments or injustices we experienced in the past can cause us to put our guard up, to not keep ourselves open, because then we find ourselves vulnerable and we may have promised ourselves we'd never go through the same painful situations again. We know that, to a certain extent, this helps, and yet, in keeping out the kind of energy we no longer wish to experience, putting big, heavy walls up also keeps love out. We may only get close to those we care about until a certain point, and then begin backing away if they get too close for comfort. We may wish for there to be a great love of our life, and yet we never find people who come close because we either don't believe such a person really exists, or we have our eyes closed to those who could be that person for us, since we're still carrying the pain from the past. If this sounds like you, you're being invited to do some healing work now, to release and let go, that you may finally make the choice to be at peace and move on. Hi again. Welcome to our new channeled message segment. If you've seen the two previously posted videos, you know that we listen here for messages from our guides, angels, and other friends of the light in spirit, all of whom we thank. Each time we do this, the message that comes through could be for multiple people or a specific person, depending on what comes up. But it won't be for everybody, so make sure you subscribe and regularly tune in so you catch it for sure if an uplifting and inspiring message that you can particularly relate to comes through. Let's begin. This time around, what I'm getting is to acknowledge you out there who got a medical or health diagnosis that you weren't expecting. One moment, your life was what you'd consider completely normal, and then the next, you feel that your world has been turned upside down. You're experiencing fear and uncertainty because now you have to do so much planning, and you didn't think that you'd face an experience like this at this point in your life. There could also be feelings of betrayal because you feel like you've done your best to be a good person, and yet something as frightening as this happens. What I'm hearing to pass on to you now is to make the most of what you have and live in such a way that you were not prior to getting this diagnosis. To find more joy, more peace, more overall positivity in life that you may not have experienced quite as much in the past because you were too busy with responsibilities and lost yourself in the busyness of everyday life. Regardless of what happens, here is your chance to do what you've always wanted in terms of your spirituality and building closer, more meaningful relationships with those you love. I know it seems like it's easy for someone else to say, but your situation brings many gifts, and you are being invited to lavish in those gifts now. From the bottom of my heart, I hope that was helpful. And that's it for this edition of our channeled message segment. Stay tuned for future ones if you want to see if Spirit has a message for you. And we have reached the end of another reading video, angels. Thank you so much for joining me. If you enjoyed this, make sure to leave a thumbs up and share it with anyone else whom you know will benefit. Also, subscribe if you haven't yet. If you didn't get a message from the channeled segment this time, you might get one next time. So, until then, stay tuned. I send you so much love. Take good care of yourself. Namaste.